Coming up, could BTC soon have a new owner?
Sentence, convicted murderer Donna Vasili finding out just how much time she will spend behind bars.
And 1 year later, remembering the fallen nine. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Everyday.
BTC could soon have new ownership in the wake of an interest from another company in cable and wireless that could have repercussions for BTC staff. Good evening, everyone. I'm Chris Saunders.
And I'm Charisma Robinson. BTC CEO Leon Williams discusses what could be in store for the telecommunications company in the wake of declining profits and approaching competition. Cleopatra Murphy has more.
More job losses could be looming at the Bahamas Telecommunications Company after company CEO Leon Williams confirmed reports that Europe-based Liberty Global is in discussions to purchase cable and wireless. It is unclear what these talks and possible purchase will mean for the remaining 614 workers at BTC after the company underwent a round of layoffs earlier this year. Williams, though, says he does not anticipate additional redundancies presently.
I don't see it today. In terms of where we're going. But the truth of the matter, things change so quickly. As you have heard in the press, come the 19th of this month, a decision will be made on the ownership of CNW, whether it will be purchased by Liberty or it will not be purchased by Liberty. That's a matter of fact way out of my control.
Williams says the decision on that deadline will determine the course of the company that is also bracing for competition in the mobile markets. However, he says competition is not BTC's only worry, as this year alone, WhatsApp has taken $10 million of BTC's revenue. The service, along with others like Skype, are causes for the company's declining revenue.
Your children, my children, those that are Generation Y, Z, and Alpha do not pick up the phones to make a phone call. They sit down all day using their thumbs sending WhatsApp messages. We do not have that problem in Jamaica, simply because Jamaica does not have LTE and 4G.
Williams says BTC will have to be creative to remain competitive in the face of pending mobile competition. That will likely be Cable Bahamas after the Bahamas Utilities Regulation and Competition Authority announced that it won the auction process against Virgin Mobile Bahamas in October. The BTC CEO expects the company to lose 30% of its revenue, or $100 million.
You know and I know Bahamas are price sensitive. You know and I know if the new prices are cheaper, the Bahamians will go for it. You know and I know that if we want to do that, then we have to have a value proposition. We have to drop our prices. How low can we drop our prices and still make a return on their investment is something that we have to sit down and from a scientific view look at what the elasticity of demand is.
Williams says BTC is confident it will remain competitive, and that will begin by winning the hearts of residents through community investing, introducing new services like IPTV and other initiatives. He warned, however, that no one will win in a price war. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
BTC and the Bahamas Communication and Public Officers Union brought 11 months of negotiations to a close after signing what the parties called an historic industrial agreement. Union President Bernard Evans says, considering the current climate, the union feels satisfied that it secured some kind of safety net for BTC employees in the wake of recent redundancies. However, with the cable and wireless half-year report highlighting a decline in revenue and synergies it wants to implement to cut expenses, the union believes more redundancies are pending. Evans says the Bahamas cannot continue to export jobs and urged government to be vigilant and not allow the call center in the Bahamas to fall victim to the call center Cable and Wireless is proposing and setting up in Jamaica.
Just yesterday we had a briefing with our members We want to encourage them that we believe what we're about to sign is a wonderful contract. It does give us some guarantees that we want it, such as first right of refusal for those who have been outsourced. We hope that will work to fruition as is intended, as was done back in 1999. We are hopeful that those persons who are outsourced will have that opportunity once they form the companies and comply with the RFPs, that they're able to have that opportunity.
Evans says the union needs government to look out for the interests of Bahamians. BTC CEO Leon Williams noted that profits in telecommunications have changed drastically from 15 years ago. He says the company will have to come up with new revenue streams for the interests of all.
I want to be able to congratulate Mr. Bernard Evans and his team for what I consider a very historic negotiations. That now that this is behind us, that we will all work together for the survival of the 614 other employees that are left at BTC, and that we would have a common enemy to fight if we want to save the jobs of those 640 people.
Resources valued at more than $660,000 have apparently gone missing at the Abaco Road Traffic Department, and now an investigation is underway. An audit report revealed that resources including decals, disc and inspection stickers were not accounted for between January 2012 and March 2015. Transport Minister the Honorable Glenys Hanna-Martin says the department has a no-tolerance policy as it relates to misappropriation, and those found responsible will face the full brunt of the law.
The government has to send very strong signals about people who do this. And first of all, that once it's established that they have culpability, they should no longer be working for the government in this country. And secondly, where appropriate, the police should be involved and full criminal sanctions should be pursued. So I think that's where we are. We're trying to, I think it's very important that the signal goes out that criminality within the public service is not acceptable and will not be tolerated, and there will be consequences.
In moving forward and ensuring that loopholes are clogged, the Transport Minister says they are pumping millions into modernizing the system.
One of the major problems in the Department of Road Traffic is that they are operating on a largely manual system. It's archaic, it's antiquated, it's inefficient, and it creates significant gaps. And as a result, oftentimes people take advantage of gaps to their own advantage and to the disadvantage of the public in general.
An Australian native is set to spend 2 decades in prison after being sentenced today for killing her husband back in March. Fern Carey was in court as that ruling came down.
20 years in prison. That's a sentence given to convicted murderer Donna Vasili. The 55-year-old Australian native appeared unemotional as she learned her fate for killing her husband, Philip Vasili, at their Old Fort Bay home back in March. However, during the start of the proceedings, Vasili wiped away tears as she sat in the prisoner's dock. Her attorney, Mary DeSeal, noted that despite the seriousness of the offense, a suspended sentence or probation with strict conditions imposed was more appropriate, as Vasili is not a menace to society and does not have a criminal record. But Acting Director of Public Prosecutions, Gavin Gaskin, urged the court to ensure that the sentence fits the crime and suggested life in prison or 30 to 60 years behind bars. The court also heard from the probation officer, who revealed in her report that Vasili grew up in a 2-parent home, went to private school, but dropped out in the 10th grade to work in a dental office and then in a husband's business. The officer noted that Vasili got married at the age of 20 and remained in the marriage, although it was tempestuous, strange, and abusive due to her husband's addiction to alcohol, drugs, and ongoing infidelity. The probation officer said Vasili revealed that she stayed in the marriage due to battered woman syndrome. She noted that Vasili still mourns the loss of her husband and feels betrayed by the jury, who she said convicted her without any evidence. At the same time, the probation officer noted that Vasili's children believe she was wrongfully accused. In the end, Senior Justice Stephen Isaacs sentenced Vasily to 20 years behind bars, less than 5 months' time served. He noted that although Vasily said she felt betrayed by the jury, he was not prepared to disturb their verdict. Describing the case as a dispute gone horribly wrong, Justice Isaacs agreed that Vasily's character has not been impugned and she is not a menace to society. He also noted that retribution is not an issue in this case.
Now, as anticipated, this sentence is not sitting well with Vasily, and her lawyers have indicated that she will appeal.
That's totally within the judge's discretion, and having regard to the regime of sentencing, I think he has done the best that he figure he can do. She's doing good. Her posture has certainly improved. She has come to accept certain realities until such time when she can be vindicated.
Fern, Carey, ZNS Network News.
This portion of the news is brought to you by the new Shell and Lettuce, designed for extra miles.